from Anastasia, Beverly Hills. I'd
How do
love
you
to
know
know
that?
more about the process of you working with swatchers. Do you discover them? Do they apply? Also, how do you choose people for PR? Is it artists you know, you've discovered on Instagram randomly? I'm not a swatcher or anything, just interested.
There was a lot of questions about swatching PR and all that. I'll answer the how do I discover people first. We don't have an application process because we're not actively looking. Because in all honesty, I have such a good vantage point already on like who's active in the nail polish swatching community because I've been a part of this community for so long. I think it's different if it's a business that maybe isn't in that space, so they like will put out applications to find people to swatch for them. But I already kind of follow and I've heard of so many accounts and I'm always discovering new ones. And truth be told, that is just how we discovered most of our swatchers.
It's Cristine in bed at 11 p.m. just scrolling through social
it's not
media.
just me. In the beginning, it was definitely just me, but now we've expanded, so our social media manager and team might spot an account and be like, "Hey, Cristine, what do you think of this person?" And I'll be like, "Oh, that's a really good find. Let's contact this person." So that is kind of how it works, pretty informally.
Yeah. All right, from Nowaki, how does PR specifically work? I know with PR, they're not obligated to review the product or anything. But if someone in the PR list never does, do they get kicked off the PR list over time? Or how does someone get removed from the PR list?
Yeah, it's really not as serious as I think people assume. Like the whole we're mad at you for doing something, kicking you off.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of how PR works, maybe let's just explain that again. I know we've probably addressed it in the sponsorships podcast, just trying to educate what the difference is. But as far as Holo Taco goes, there's 3 different types of groups of people we might work with. There's PR, which is when we send Holo Taco product to an account, whether they're small or large, and it's completely 100% at their discretion whether they want to post. They literally never have to. And that happens often with the larger influencers that I still continue to send to some of them anyways. They may never post. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they never check their mail. Maybe they don't care. They don't have to. And that's kind of the beauty of PR. Like when I get sent PR, I don't have to show it. I do if I feel like it. And there's no obligations. Then there is...
Sorry, if they never show it after 2 years of existing as a brand, is there a point at which you're just like not sending it to them anymore?
Occasionally, yeah, good point. I think after like a few months, maybe even 6 months, I will review the PR list and think, has this person shown it? Maybe they like moved and I couldn't reach them to get their new address. This happens with some larger influencers sometimes. And it's just like not worth asking them because I don't want to bother them either or make them feel like they need to post because they do not. But also it's kind of a sign to me that if I've sent them the last 6 launches and they literally never showed it, maybe they don't care. So I would rather save that product for other swatchers or PR people maybe who might want to use it. So it's not a punishment. It's just like a, if I never showed a product for like 6 months after a brand sends it to me, like I don't blame them for like not sending it to me anymore.
Yeah, I guess we don't think about it that deeply, right?
It's not really that deep. And then the second type of reason we might send someone a product is for paid swatching, which is where we directly pay swatchers for the rights to use their photos on our website and on our socials. So we've talked about that before. That is not for promotional purposes on their end. They have no expectation to post and say like, buy Holo Taco, because we're not sponsoring them to post on their socials, but they can if they want. But we're really just paying them to buy the rights so we can use their photos.
There is a group of people like that, but then there's the group of people,
and then there's the third group, which is the sponsored content, which we change up all the time. So that's maybe another thing I want to note, just in case anyone's listening here who's been maybe on our PR list or swatcher list or sponsored list, is that the swatchers, we use the same people because it just helps with like consistency in the website. For sponsored content, we deliberately change that up. with every launch. I mean, sometimes a person might be repeated, but we deliberately will change up the strategy, change up what types of accounts we're sponsoring. And most recently with the Remix collection, for the first time, we sponsored some larger YouTubers,
Yeah.
GB and Lauren Z side. So that was really exciting. And if someone had been sponsored in the past on Instagram and we didn't sponsor them the next launch, it doesn't mean we didn't like working with them. I just want to put that out there because I know the feeling. If I had been sponsored, at one point by a company and then they like didn't contact me for the next campaign, that for me, for Holo Taco, that does not mean we didn't like your work. We are doing that deliberately to kind of spread it around.
Yeah, I think most people get that, or most people in this space should know that.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear because I don't know. I'm just, no one said anything, but I feel bad if people think like, oh, we don't like them anymore. But yeah, being sponsored means that Holo Taco will send the product to the account, and that account is being paid specifically to produce content and post it on their platform, and they have to write sponsored or ad.
Yeah.
And there is an expectation for like timelines. This is the kind of content we're looking for. We check the caption and we have like a recommended, like what are we looking for? Nail art or a reel or whatever it is.
I was super happy with it was really interesting being on the other side of sponsoring YouTube content for the first time. And just say both those people were great to work with, GB and Lauren. And we made a decision to do that pretty late in the process. So I did just want to acknowledge and just sort of appreciate how accommodating they were of pretty unreasonable timelines to do it. And we don't want to take advantage of the fact that you are sort of, someone liked in the YouTube community. And it is something we've really debated over the past few months, like to work with YouTubers. We don't want to put people in an awkward position where like they're more inclined to agree just because they like you, or maybe they're even friends with you, right?
Yeah, like we want to pay them their fair rate too. Like what they ask for their influence, we want to pay them.
Well, we also want to, like, having worked with brands that were good and not so good to work with, we definitely know how we want to behave in a way that is a very creator-friendly
Right. We don't want to be unreasonable and demanding with, like, can you change this one tiny thing? Or I can see a logo on your hoodie. Like, no, I don't care.
We don't care. Okay. But yeah, no, that's been interesting. And we're still really evolving in our thinking about these sort of marketing
I just think
channels.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that Holo Taco is at the point where it has a marketing budget where it can pay influencers, large and small, and we're deliberately spreading it around. We're not just doing only larger influencers. There are a ton of smaller Instagram accounts that we sponsor to or give PR to.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Nailing painting. What does the approval process look for sponsored content? Do you actually approve it yourself?
We recently sponsored Nailing Painting, which is...
What did the approval process look like for Nailing Paint? You okay there? Cristine just inhaled some tea.
I laughed.
Cristine, you can't breathe tea. Do we need a little tea break?
Sorry, I went to like breathe while I was drinking tea. I don't know what happened.
Drinking tea is dangerous sometimes.
Oh, the tea. You made it too good. Nailing Painting. Very talented. Love working with her.
Don't cry.
So our social media manager will go through the post submission first and review it and just make sure that all the copy that we'd requested is there, that the content is as expected, and then they'll send it to me. And yes, I personally do review every single sponsored post that is going to go out to get my sign off before it is approved. So yes, I see everything.
You see everything.